As I say, they got 3 whole weeks to get things done. And among other things, they said they've got to get health care through at least the Senate with Republicans. What are the chances?
Start the clock. They've got 3 weeks, David, but of course time is running out. And of course, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell now posed with the option of whether or not to negotiate with Democrats, people like Senator Heidi Heitkamp, or to keep trying to muster a deal with the likes of Senator Ted Cruz and Mike Lee. Now, some folks I'm hearing on Capitol Hill are suggesting that the Majority Leader isn't really potentially serious about working with Democrats. He just wants to put some pressure on these Republicans and say, this is it. This is the moment. This is the opportunity in order to get some type of repeal and replacement effort on the Affordable Care Act. Either way, you start looking at the numbers of $2 billion for opioid addiction or defunding of Planned Parenthood. Then, of course, you look at the 22 million Americans, according to the Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, who would lose health insurance as a result of this legislation. And then you start looking at the insurance markets, not all of whom we should mention are on board with this. And this is a very tricky political situation for the Majority Leader to get this across the finish line.
So, Sahil, Kevin tells us it's not clear that the Republicans want to work with the Democrats. Do the Democrats want to work with the Republicans? I understand that Chuck Schumer, the Minority Leader, has written a letter today to Mitch McConnell, the Majority Leader. What did it say?
A couple of things, David. Firstly, we know that McConnell doesn't ideally want to have to work with Democrats. He's raised this prospect as a bit of a threat to some of his members who are holdouts, saying, we've got one chance to do this. We've got one chance to keep our promise that we've been pushing for the last 7 years. So let's get this repeal and replacement bill passed so we don't have to work with Democrats. Having said that, the letter that Democrats, including Chuck Schumer and 3 members of his leadership team, sent to Leader McConnell earlier today essentially said, yes, we'll take you up on that. Come to the table. We'll talk with you about a solution to stabilize these insurance markets. Now, Democrats are not going to bite on anything that smacks of a repeal of the Affordable Care Act. And what they're saying is very specific. Improve these reinsurance and risk programs for insurance companies who are raising their premiums and raising deductibles and things like that to try to make up their costs for having a sicker group of customers. There are several provisions in the Affordable Care Act that have either expired, such as the reinsurance provisions, or are subject to legal challenges and are putting the insurance markets in uncertainty, such as the cost-sharing subsidy. So Democrats are like, let's fix those, let's make them permanent. And McConnell has suggested if you don't get this done, then we're going to have to do that. So it remains to be seen. It's certainly a possibility.